Our Thursday prime time takes us to Rocky Top, Knoxville, Tennessee. The Tennessee Lady Volunteers trying to do something that no one has figured out how to do this year, and that is beat the #1 team in the nation, South Carolina, taking the undefeated show on the road tonight. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Looking at this conference, no surprise, South Carolina sits at the top of the SEC standings. They are 10-0 in conference play. Tennessee is tied for second with LSU. They're 8-3 in SEC action this season. Let's go. We're excited to be with you. Courtney Lyle alongside Wade Trophy winner, Connecticut Sun head coach Stephanie White. Angel Gray also with us on the sideline. South Carolina, they're a handful. And if Tennessee wants to have a chance to take down the #1 team, then Rickea Jackson's got to have a great night.
She absolutely does. A steady dose of Rickea Jackson on multiple areas of the floor, using her versatility, finding ways to get her touches and high percentage looks. She's going to get it on the interior. She is going to get it out and go in transition. And when she is at her best, she's attacking and getting to the foul line.
Rickea Jackson projected to be a top 5 pick in the WNBA draft. She's going to have a good night. Scouting South Carolina seems like a nightmare. You got to pick your poison, but we're going to look at the guards, obviously, because we got Steph sitting here.
We got a guard snub right here, right? Sorry, Rebecca, but it's all about the guards right now. Finding different ways to score in the paint, but doing it with perimeter players. Yes, they can feed the big girl inside, and they will continue to do so. But guard play accounting for nearly 54% of the scoring for the Gamecocks. They're getting it on the interior. They're taking it off the bounce, finding ways to get downhill. And yes, this is a South Carolina team that shoots the lights out, 40% from the three-point line.
Better than anybody in the nation. But don't forget about the big girls down low. And Camila Cardoso, she missed the last 2 games playing with her national team trying to qualify for the Olympics, but she is back. Their leading scorer, their leading rebounder. And Angel Gray, South Carolina didn't miss a beat without her.
Ladies, having too many weapons on your roster isn't a bad problem to have if you're Dawn Staley. And with Camila Cardoso returning to the lineup, that sends Ashley Watkins back to the bench. A very good bench that is actually 3rd best in scoring percentage in the country. Ashley, coming off of that 15-9 game, told Dawn Staley, hey, I got new plans. She wants to be the 6th player of the year. Mylasia Fulwiley also enters the chat, but not just the first wave that you have to worry about with this team. The second wave is just as dangerous.
The bag of weapons that Dawn Staley has at her disposal is scary. Unless you're a South Carolina fan, then it's welcome. Here's the starting 5 for South Carolina. Chloe Kitts in the lineup in that 4 spot. She has great chemistry with Camila. That's why Dawn Staley likes to put her in the starting 5. And for the Tennessee Lady Volunteers, you got to have size inside, right? And that's where Tamari Key is going to be big tonight.
Tamari Key has to be big. She's got to be big on the defensive end of the floor. She has to rebound the basketball and needs to be a presence offensively as well.
She is working back from last season when they discovered blood clots in her lungs, but getting closer and closer to where she was. Thursday primetime in Knoxville, and South Carolina controls the tip. There's Bree Hall. Back to Kitts, and immediately she's going inside to her counterpart, and Camilla's back.
Absolutely. Attacking right away. You're not going to see Tennessee bring a double because Cardoso can see right over the top of them. Got to play really good defense, force them to hit tough shots.
Jasmine Powell will take the 3. Where does Tennessee start offensively against this defense of South Carolina?
I think they've got to be aggressive to the rim. I don't think settling for those quick 3s from the outside is the recipe.
Dawn Staley and Kelly Harper going head-to-head. Kelly Harper coaching at her alma mater. Dawn Staley building South Carolina up to a team that has won 2 national titles. And that's going to be a travel on Jewel Spear.
But that's the look you want to get. If you're Rickea Jackson, you're attacking, you're drawing multiple defenders, and then you're spraying out for a 3-point shot. Contested 3s are exactly feeding into what South Carolina wants you to do.
We mentioned it for South Carolina offensively. They shoot the 3 better than anyone else in the nation. Their paint point production is insane. 54% of their points come in the paint. Bree Hall misses, but gets her own rebound. It's swatted away by Tamari Key, who is Tennessee's career blocks leader. Jasmine Jasmine Powell loses the battle with Pow, but gets it back. Rickea Jackson for 2. Pow pushing in transition.
And this is where South Carolina can be so dangerous in transition. Really important for Tennessee. Good offensive execution, get back.
Bree Hall's shot from the elbow rattles out. Tennessee going in transition. Sarah pocket on the baseline. Jackson almost had the rebound, but here comes Pow. Kelly Harper said transition defense was a focus for Tennessee against the Gamecocks. Kitts somehow banks that in. Tennessee fans wanted to travel.
Well, you mentioned the transition defense, and good offensive execution is the start to that transition defense. Getting shots out of the flow of your offense, taking care of the basketball. You're not going to get too many open looks with this South Carolina defense. When you do, you got to knock them down.
South Carolina only gives up 54 points per game. There's a bank in the first bucket for Jasmine Powell in Tennessee. And that's a travel on Cardoso.
This is Jasmine Powell just sizing up. Raven Johnson does a good job of getting the shot off. And yes, the bank is open.
It's only a Thursday.
It's only a Thursday. It's still early.
Tennessee had to play a game on Monday against Arkansas, led by as many as 17 in that game. As one of their best performances of the season. Only gave up 55 points.
Started that game out on a 12-0 run. Established themselves offensively.
The swipe by Puckett up to Powell, guarded by Hall. And Jasmine Powell doing all the work offensively for Tennessee.
And that's a good take. Anytime you can create some offense off of your defense, get some looks in transition, it's going to be important for the Lady Vols.
Raven Johnson will slow things down and get it set up. And an offensive foul on Chloe Kitts on the screen.
Tennessee has been really active on the defensive end of the floor. Really looking to get hands on the ball when the Gamecocks put it on the floor. And in transition, Jasmine Powell, she looks off the defender like she's going to make that pass. Does a great job of elevating and finishing over Bree Hall.
Jasmine Powell's role has increased as the season has gone on, especially when Destiny Wells went out with that season-ending injury in practice back in December.
And I love that take by Rickea Jackson. You can get the ball, her the ball in the middle of the floor, and let her go to work.
Coming off 21-9 on Monday against Arkansas. Bree Hall's had some good looks, they just haven't dropped.
She has, and they're going to challenge Bree Hall to hit those off the bounce as opposed to catch and shoot threes.
Powell a little too far underneath the basket.
Got to get her in transition, though.
Pow shoots from the three better than anyone in the nation. Missed there. Tamari Key coming down with it.
Already Tamari Key's activity level on the defensive end has been effective. Can she sustain it? She's continuing to work herself back into game shape. Can she sustain it on both ends?
South Carolina's got Ashlyn Watkins and Malaysia Fulwiley at the table waiting to sub in. Oh, Rickea got robbed on that one.
Oh, that was a heck of a take.
Trying to get it to Pow. She's guarded by Jewel Spear. Cardoso, the turnaround.
And that was just really good work by Cardoso. The timing, understanding when the duck in is happening.
She went and played 3 games with her national team, then had Wednesday's full day of practice and shoot around today to get used to the Gamecock system again. Inside to Key. Mouse in the house. She was guarded by Raven Johnson. Key's going to win that right over the top. Turnover into the hands of Jackson. finish it. Jasmine Powell's second life for the Lady Vols. And Rickea Jackson hitting Sarah Puckett, breaking to the basket.
Hustle plays, 50-50 balls. These are the plays that you have to make. If you want a chance at upsetting South Carolina, every loose ball has to be yours.
Tamari Key's doing a great job of defending without fouling, too.
She really is. She's staying vertical. She's forcing Cardozo to score over the top or around her.
Spear with the crossover. Puckett with the strip and the score. The momentum lies with the orange and white. A 12-2 run for Tennessee. Bree Hall, there it is. Finally, she sees it go through.
Yeah, that was a great take by Bree Hall. No rotation, no help. Hall is able to finish. You think about the pace of this game, Courtney, and the pace of this game certainly favoring South Carolina. Their depth right now. Tennessee looks a little bit tired and fatigued early.
South Carolina's had 3 subs waiting at the table for it seems like forever. Swish!
That's a tough shot by Rickea Jackson, and you can see her imploring her team, get back in transition. We've got to lock down.
South Carolina has had 4 turnovers in the last 4.5 minutes. Cardozo at the SEC logo, no.
Great box out by Sarah Puckett.
Key trying to get through a double team. Camila Cardozo with the block.
Lady Vols are making a statement defensively early, getting all the hustle plays, finding ways to get easy buckets. What happens when you double down low? Sarah Puckett finds the open area, and easy too. And then the hustle plays, getting extra possessions, the strip and the score. And Rickea Jackson says, yes, I can take it inside, but I can knock it down from the outside as well. Back in Knoxville, the Lady Vols have it going early. They've been aggressive on the offensive end. They've been taking what the defense gives them, outscoring the Gamecocks 10-8 on the interior, finding open areas, making extra passes, hustle plays. They've been active on the defensive end of the floor, taking, again, the open look. Rickea Jackson knocking the shot down.
South Carolina has turned it over 5 times, and Dawn Staley was not happy in that last huddle. Tennessee has gotten 8 points off of those turnovers. But she let her players play. Were you surprised that she didn't call a timeout?
I'm not. I think Dawn Staley is challenging her team to try to figure it out. It's a young group, but it's a group that has great experience and great competitive fire.
This will be a huge win for Tennessee. They're 43 in the net right now. Charlie Crean has them as an 11 seed. They're the only team to make every NCAA tournament. And they haven't beaten the #1 team in the nation since 2005. Off to a good start, though. Lots of new faces in for the Gamecocks. Mylasia Fulwiley, Tessa Johnson, Sanaya Fagan, and Ashlyn Watkins all in.
And already you get a sense defensively, much more aggressive, trying to be out in the passing lanes, pressure the basketball.
Jewel Spear in and out. And that goes off of Raven Johnson. Well, Sunday at noon on ABC, College Game Day in Columbia to promote the SEC matchup between Georgia and #1 South Carolina. Elle Duncan and the gang will all be there. It's 1 o'clock Eastern is tip-off. College Game Day coverage by State Farm. Noon Eastern for Georgia, South Carolina. South Carolina has won 41 straight SEC regular season games. Tennessee running out of time, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. But off to a rocky start here on Rocky Top.
Yeah, I think Tennessee right away establishing themselves in the defensive end of the floor. You're going to see them playing in the gaps. You're going to see a lot of digging on the post possessions, but also digging anytime someone puts the ball down on the floor and trying to recover out. And Kelly Harper's going to have to be strategic with her substitution patterns. Not the same depth that South Carolina has, but has to make sure to keep Rickea Jackson, Jasmine Powell, and Tamari Key fresh.
Yeah, she's put in Jillian Hollingshed and Caroline Strickland and Ashlyn Watkins with the bucket. Yeah, just to compare, South Carolina averages 34 points off of its bench every game. Tennessee averages 14. Big difference.
There's a huge difference. And staying fresh. I mean, this is a short week for Tennessee. So an opportunity to come in and to continue to play at home, certainly. But if you're South Carolina, you want to put the pressure on them.
And Tennessee hosted Arkansas Monday night. Practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and here they are playing again. Fulwiley all up in Jasmine Powell's grill. She's trying to shake her, makes it a tough shot. Tennessee with the O-board. Hollingshed for two. Too much. And Raven Johnson, she loves to run up to Sanaya Fagan.
That's one of those transition buckets. You talk about offensive execution, shot selection, just as much as turning over can lead to those breaks.
Did Raven bring the crock pot on the road? Is she cooking? Trying to go inside to Strickland. Hard to do that with Ashlyn Watkins there.
It is, and I don't think that's the matchup you want. But look in transition. Raven Johnson head up. She sees both sides. Sanaya Fagan, a great job of running the floor. If you run, your guards will reward you.
So Tamari Key, Sarah Puckett back in for Tennessee. And Rickea Jackson up at the top of the key. 4 seconds. Powell lets it fly. Puckett got in there, got on the glass. Second look won't drop in. Maybe a third will for Tennessee.
Ashlyn Watkins is everywhere on the floor.
10 seconds now for South Carolina. Fulwiley, the step back three. And puts South Carolina on top barely after 10 minutes. Mylasia Fulwiley with the three. We will talk to Kelly Harper in just a moment, but South Carolina takes a 1-point lead.
The patience and the poise with the clock winding down. Mylasia Fulwiley knows it. She steps back. That's nothing but the bottom of the net.
Thanks, Coach. You held South Carolina to 8 points through the 8 minutes, but they went on a 7-0 run to close the first quarter. What changed on that side of the ball?
Well, they had a transition layup, and obviously they hit a three there at the end. So our offense got a little stale, got a little stagnant. We quit moving the ball, quit moving our body. We got to get back to that.
Tonight, you are honoring Nikki McCray-Penson. When you're thinking about this being bigger than ball, what do you want people to remember most about her impact?
Well, I think she impacted a lot of people, not just one program, a lot of programs. But I think her personality was just so infectious. People loved being around her, and you know, it's a pretty good person to imitate.
It's nice. She puts a smile on your face, though, too.
Yes, she does.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, this game, Angel said it perfectly. It's bigger than ball tonight. They're honoring Nikki McCray-Penson, who passed away in July after a battle with cancer. She was a Tennessee Lady Volunteer and spent some time on Dawn Staley's staff at South Carolina, was a two-time Olympic gold medalist. And so both teams wearing shooting shirts to honor Nikki, who impacted so many.
Yeah, you think about the legacy that Nikki McCray-Penson left, and here at Tennessee with the South Carolina program, with the many student athletes that are playing at the next level and coaching at the next level as well. And it's incredible that these programs continue to honor her legacy.
And we asked Dawn Staley about Nikki. She said nobody worked harder. Rickea Jackson puts up the shot. South Carolina on that 7-0 run after trailing most of the first quarter. Tennessee's missed its last 9 shots now.
8 of those misses coming after Dawn Staley getting into her team in that timeout, challenging them on the defensive end of the floor.
There's a big play for Jasmine Powell. She's been shot out of a cannon since this game started.
I love how aggressive she's been getting to the paint. Staying aggressive, putting pressure on the defense, and that's a great screen by Sarah Puckett, taking the contact and finishing the play.
That'll be the first foul against Tamari Key. Oh, excuse me. Oh, Jasmine Powell at the free throw line. I think they called that against Sanaya Fagan. My apologies, wrong number 20. What did you notice when South Carolina brought in the subs and after that timeout, specifically about them?
Right away, more pressure on the perimeter.
Yeah.
More pressure on the ball handler, aggressive in the passing lanes, speeding Tennessee up on the offensive end of the floor. Tennessee was too comfortable before that timeout.
If you're just joining us, Camila Cardoso back with South Carolina, back in the starting lineup after missing 2 games to play with her national team as they tried to qualify for the Paris Olympics. She checks back into the game. 2 for 4 from the field, 4 points, and Fagan will take a seat. Watkins gets the first. She had started the last 4 games due to various reasons, Camilla being out, and then Chloe Kitts had an illness. And you see what she did as a starter compared to off the bench.
Oh my goodness, you look at her numbers. I mean, averaging a double-double, shooting at 63% from the floor. And Dawn Staley telling us, we've got to find her more minutes. She's got to be on the floor for us. She's just impactful. And watching her growth and development from more than just being athletic on the floor, now thinking the game, understanding schemes, using her versatility on the defensive end.
And she's become more vocal on the floor too, directing the guards, telling them where she wants the basketball. She'll take it right there.
Hey, I mean, that's a perfect example. Attacking the rim, finishing, probably a little bit of contact, great body control.
She's the only Gamecock to dunk too,
and that's
she's done it twice.
And that's what you're talking about right there, that communication.
Yes.
There was a little bit of miscommunication in terms of the timing, but exactly what Dawn Staley was talking about.
And Rickea Jackson made South Carolina pay. Tessa Johnson misses on the baseline. This will stay with South Carolina.
Lex action coming. Yep.
You see her again.
I know, yeah. And that's what Dawn Staley had mentioned to us, just her growth in understanding what we're trying to do on both ends of the floor. And when you pair that with her natural gifts and her athleticism, her speed, her quickness, her ability to just make plays, watch out.
Terrifying for the rest, for everyone else. Sarah Puckett whistled for her first foul, sends Tessa Johnson to the free throw line. Drops in the first. Saturday men's basketball taking over ESPN. 3 games for you, but that Kentucky-Auburn game, that's going to be our sonic blockbuster. Auburn just destroying South Carolina last night. Men's college basketball to be at 2, 4, and 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the app. Jackson probing, she's got 7, tries to shake off Watkins, can't do it. And that's going to be a jump ball, possession arrow to the Gamecocks.
I like that matchup. Watching those two go at it. Tennessee coming back to the 4-5 on ball, and Ashlyn Watkins gets herself back in the play. Just when you think she's shook, she gets a hand on it, and then she continues with the multiple levels of effort to tie it up.
Johnson throwing it up to Cardoso. Back out to Pow. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Fulwiley. Floater a bit short. It stays with the Gamecocks.
I think the Lady Vols got a little lucky right there. The drop coverage, that was really deep for Jillian Hollingshed to be all the way in the old restricted area. Fulwiley's usually going to knock that down. ISO.
Tessa Johnson by herself. And Cardoso is fouled. That'll be the first against Hollingshed. So Tamari Key and Hollingshed, 2 posts for Tennessee that each have 1 foul.
There's not a lot of depth for Tennessee in terms of size to match one-on-one with Cardoso. So staying disciplined defensively is going to be important.
Does anyone have depth
No.
with the size to go?
They do not.
At 6'7".
But Tennessee is the one team that does have multiple defenders that you can give her good looks, and you see Puckett run into right there, and Hollingshed was behind the play.
And South Carolina stepped in the lane early, so they wave that off, and it'll be Tennessee ball. Powell looking for some help. She's covered up by Fulwiley, almost a turnover. And Cardoso whistled for the foul.
I thought Hollingshed traveled before the foul.
That's the first on Cardoso. Powell was open, got there a little late.
It's the timing. You've got to be able to deliver those on time. South Carolina doesn't allow you too many open opportunities.
Powell has not scored tonight. Misses that shot. Usually the second quarter, too, for South Carolina, that's when they outscore their opponents by 10. That's their most productive quarter. But so far, just outscoring Tennessee, actually being outscored by Tennessee by a point here in the second. Jasmine Powell getting herself to the elbow, no. Tennessee basketball.
Lady Vols are just doing such a good job of the multiple levels of effort. You think there's no way that Tess Darby is going to make it to this ball, and she just keeps pursuing, and Ashlyn Watkins stepping out of bounds, giving Tennessee another possession. It's got to be a game of possessions when you're playing South Carolina, and you've got to find a way to get more of them.
Kelly Harper has talked about it's been fun to watch this team grow. Yeah, they've taken some losses, but she sees them learning from those losses. They're never satisfied. Jewel Spear. Off of Tennessee, South Carolina will take it. Johnson pushing up ahead to Hall. And Camila Cardoso up and in.
All day, and that is not going to be one that Kelly Harper is pleased with. In transition, off of a dead ball.
Meanwhile, 2.5 minute scoring drought for Tennessee. They've missed 13 of their last 15.
And when Tennessee found success, it was attacking the rim, forcing rotations, now settling for a lot of contested jump shots.
And Powell letting that 3 fly. They're now 1 for 8 from behind the arc. First foul against Darby. Powell will take a seat. She's got 7, tied for the lead for Tennessee with Rickea Jackson.
It's the diagonal screen right here.
And a travel on Bree Hall. That's turnover number 7 for South Carolina.
Well, it is so exciting here in Iowa. Fans have been lined up. There are over 150 media that are credentialed photographers. There are cameras everywhere, and it feels like such an electric buzz in here. But Caitlin Clark literally just warmed up right behind me. She came over, she gave me a hug, and I said, "How are you handling all of this?" She said, "I'm good." she seems relaxed and that she is taking in the moment and having a lot of fun. Her family's here, both of her brothers, her high school basketball coach. But I can tell you this place is chaotic and crazy. It's nice that Caitlin is able to calm down and just go and play this game tonight. She's on the brink of history, and it's a lot of fun to be here to watch it with all the rest of these 15,000 people who sold out this game in the summer to be here tonight.
Yeah, Caitlin can be cool, calm, and collected. The rest of us can be chaotic and crazy as we watch. Holly, thank you. We'll keep an eye on Caitlin tonight. So eyes on Iowa City, but back here on Rocky Top, Courtney Lyles, Stephanie White, and Angel Gray with you. This has been a battle in the first half. It was a one-point game after the first 10 minutes, but right now Tennessee on a 3.5-minute scoring drought.
Well, South Carolina came out of the first timeout. Dawn Staley challenged her team. She got into them. They have been really good on the defensive end. They've been disruptive. They've made life difficult for Tennessee.
Tennessee just 2 for 10 here in the second quarter. South Carolina 2 for 7. Both teams struggling offensively. Key gets it back up top to Rickea Jackson.
Tennessee's missed some opportunities at the rim.
And Raven Johnson trying to force it in to Bree Hall. That'll be a turnover for South Carolina, number 8. South Carolina only averages 13 a game.
Yeah, this is a team that takes really good care of the basketball. Tennessee earlier was disruptive, now trying to make something happen. And sometimes Dawn Staley talks about Raven Johnson, and I need her to go fast but slow her mind down.
Seconds for the Lady Vols. Spear. Steps back. No.
But just great individual effort defensively. Te-Hina Pow could not be shook. Jewel Spear had to take a contested shot. This is what South Carolina forces you to do. That you become tunnel vision. They speed you up on the offensive end of the floor.
Pow's going to pull it back out. 13 seconds on the shot clock.
That's a rip and go.
Rolls around and out for Ashlyn Watkins.
And that was really good defense by Rickea Jackson, forcing Watkins back into the help.
2.5-minute scoring drought for South Carolina. And Rickea said this drought's over for the Lady Vols. They went over 5 minutes without points until Rickea Jackson said, "Give me the ball." Cardoso working on Key. Back to the free throw line for Camila Cardoso. That's the second on Key.
Well, one of the things that Kelly Harper talked to us about was really trying to force Cardoso off the block. That time, Tamara Key got her off the block, but as soon as the ball was caught, she stood straight up. You still got to stay mobile. You still got to stay active. Cardoso's not going to be a toss back. She's going to continue to try to go to work.
So Tamara Key will take a seat with those 2 fouls as Cardoso hits the first free throw. Misses the second. There's a lane for Rickea Jackson. She pulls up.
And I think you continue to allow Rickea Jackson to get the ball at the top of the key and see what develops. She's shown she's going to make the right play, whether it's attacking or facilitating.
Pow, no. Cardoso, offensive board, no. Bree Hall falls to the floor, along with Rickea Jackson.
Rickea Jackson has been successful at getting to the rim, but watch how she reads the next level defender. She sees Cardoso, she doesn't over-penetrate, she stays poised, she stops on a dime, and she elevates and knocks down the jumper.
How do you think her game translates to the next level, projected to be a top 5 pick?
Her game translates just fine.
Yeah.
You can play her in multiple positions. Her motor, her ability to rebound, to attack, to handle the basketball, to defend multiple positions.
She's got the last 7 points for Tennessee. Inside to Puckett. Up and in, and fouled by Bree Hall.
And I really like that action. I think Sarah Puckett can be utilized a little bit more on the block, especially when she's got mismatches. Yes, she has the ability to stretch the floor from the three, but taking advantage of size on the interior, running, look, just a little bit off of the flex cut. She gets good position. That's a strong delivery, and she can go to work.
Talking to Sarah this season, she said, I had a mental block last year. That's what she called it. She said, I've just got that next play mentality now, and that's something that's hard, especially in your sophomore season, to figure out, but as a junior, she's got it.
It is hard, especially when you're a perfectionist. You want to do everything exactly the right way.
Powell can push. She's got spears. She needs help.
That's the decision making. Those are the mistakes that you can't afford to make against a team like South Carolina.
Raven Johnson will slow things down. South Carolina won for its last 9. Ten seconds. Bree Hall. South Carolina just 1 for 4 from 3. Poked away by Chloe Kitts. Up ahead to Hall. Missed the transition bucket.
If you're Tennessee, big sigh of relief right there. A turnover that looks like it's going for the score, and Bree Hall just off the mark.
South Carolina has only scored 8 points in the second quarter.
You got to give credit to this Tennessee defense. Trying to keep South Carolina uncomfortable, being disruptive.
Highlight reel for Rickea. She's got 13. Tennessee trying to take a lead into the locker room on the #1 team in the nation. Seconds. Pow, no space, but she gets it off to Watkins, who is fouled by Rickea Jackson.
The poise, the composure, not getting rushed. Te-Hina understands time and score. She draws multiple defenders, and Ashlyn Watkins just attacking the rim. And that's the thing that's so impressive about this South Carolina team. A lot of new pieces, a lot of inexperienced pieces, with the exception right now of Pow on the floor, right? Poise, composure, execution when it matters.
Well, coming up in the Jeep halftime report, NC State Notre Dame highlights plus reaction to the NCAA top 16 reveal that's coming up at the half. No one has beaten South Carolina this season, but the Lady Vols are up on the #1 team in the nation. They're the 3rd team to lead the Gamecocks at the half this season.
Well, you got to give a lot of credit to the Lady Vols, coming out being aggressive on both ends of the floor and establishing and imposing their will.
Rickea Jackson had 13 points in the first half. She's with Angel.
Rickea, a top 5 offense coming in here tonight, but you forced them into 9 turnovers. Describe the disruptiveness you guys have on that end of the ball.
We're just out rebounding them right now. We're playing great defense. We're sticking together as a team and trusting in ourselves.
Offensively, what's working for you? What's working with this group? It just seems like there's a sense of urgency in that first half.
Playing against a team like South Carolina, you just can't be scared. And like, you just gotta have confidence. Go at the rim. If you don't get your shot block, you ain't playing hard against South Carolina, for real.
Thanks, Rickea.
Thank you.
Well, Tennessee did not come out scared. They don't go back into the locker room as scared. They've hit 4 of their last 5 shots. They lead the #1 team in the nation at the half, 28-25. Whew, it's getting crazy on Rocky Top. Let's get you back to Elle in the studio. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Tennessee feeling comfortable at home against the #1 team in the nation. They lead, starting the third quarter, 28-25 over undefeated South Carolina. Back inside the Food City Center, Courtney Lyle, Stephanie White, Angel Gray also with you. Wow, Tennessee came out with a lot of energy and effort. It's what you have to play South Carolina.
They absolutely do. They imposed their will from the opening jump ball and didn't stop. It was multiple levels of effort. It was hustle plays. It was offensive rebounds, 12 of them for the Lady Vols, getting extra possessions. And this is what it's going to take. How do you beat South Carolina? How do you position yourself? You got to have more possessions, and I thought the Lady Vols did an outstanding job defensively, keeping South Carolina uncomfortable, offensively, being aggressive, being in attack mode, forcing the action and putting some pressure on them.
South Carolina only had 1 made field goal outside of the paint. Again, this is the 2nd best shooting team in the nation. They shot 20 points below that.
You got to give the Lady Vols a lot of credit, just trying to make South Carolina uncomfortable, force them to hit tough shots. And if you're the Gamecocks, you got to come out, you've got to get Pow going on the offensive end of the floor. You got to find a way to get Bree Hall some open shots. But I think the first possession of the game, they go right to Camila Cardoso.
Well, now for tonight's Need to Know, it's brought to you by USPS Ground Advantage. Rickea Jackson led Tennessee 13 points, 4 rebounds. Lady Vols were able to force 9 turnovers for a team that averages 13 a game. Keep in mind, too, South Carolina has won 41 straight SEC regular season games, but they trail by 3.
You got the ISO.
And that's going to be the 3rd foul on Tamari Key.
I thought that pass was a little bit late, too. Raven Johnson had her before the dribble, but exactly what you want to do if you're the Gamecocks. Come out, establish Cardoso early, go right at Tamari Key. She is the only one who can give the size, the strength, and the length consistently against Cardoso inside.
And now she has to take a seat. Look, you know Raven Johnson is going to throw it up to Camila Cardoso, her best friend. They've played for the last 7 years together, dating before South Carolina.
I used to watch those two in that combination in AAU basketball. Just throw it up and let her go get it.
Spicy. Chloe Kitts with the bucket. You heard Rickea Jackson tell Angel Gray just before the half, you can't play scared against South Carolina. Tennessee did not do that. They looked very comfortable in the first half. Jackson short on the shot. Back to Cardoso, guarded by Hollingshed. There you go.
Yeah, go to work. Don't even think about kicking that thing back out. She had 2 feet in the paint. She's got to turn and score that.
9.7 boards for Camila.
She's going to get a touch every possession down the floor. They're going to play right through her.
Jasmine Powell didn't cool off in the locker room. She's up to 9.
That's a tough shot and finish high off the glass.
Te-Hina Powell has not scored for South Carolina, and she heard me saying it.
She's got to get going.
Yes.
She's got to find a way to get going, whether that's going to the rim just like that, knocking down some outside shots.
She shoots it from 3 better than anyone in the nation. Sarah Puckett will fire. Swish! Puckett bucket! Second 3 for Tennessee tonight. And a foul on Hollingshed. Let's go back to the studio with Elle.
Ladies, Caitlin Clark understood the assignment and right away has made history. This is the shot. She was 3 for 3 from the logo in Caitlin Clark fashion, and there she is. She has broken Kelsey Plum's D1 scoring record in emphatic fashion. Carver Hawkeye Arena reacting. Andrea, she was like, let's just get that out of the way right now.
Scored Iowa's first 8 points, like you said, 3 for 3, and it's poetic that it came on a crossover in transition from the logo. Of course, she gets the record on a shot like that. Just a special, truly talented player. Way to go, Caitlin.
Just absolutely incredible. So there it is. Kelsey Plum. It's a record that we have been earmarking for months. We literally circled it based on her average of 32 points per game that she would potentially break the record tonight at home against Michigan. And there she is, your new record holder for the most scoring in D1 history. Andrea, she's now eyeing Pistol Pete Maravich to overtake him for men's and women's. Just incredible to see.
Yeah, it's so special, and I love how happy everyone is for Caitlin. Everyone around the nation, all her teammates, her family, the fans. She's done a lot for the game. A lot more to come.
Much more perspective on sports tonight, but for now, a good one in Knoxville.
Now, ladies, history tonight. Caitlin Clark. You know what? She got to do it at home.
Yeah, got to do it at home. She would have taken the W at Nebraska.
Well, definitely.
But, I mean, what a special talent.
3,528 points in 126 games played, passing Kelsey Plum, the most in D1 history. Caitlin Clark. But right now here in Knoxville, Tennessee 3 for its last 3. Jillian Hollingshed moments ago hit a really big bucket right at the free throw line. Pow. Got her shot back.
Yeah, and I think Pow continuing to use the re-screen. So she hasn't gotten it off of the first side multiple times in the first half. Use the re-screen. There's space there. Lady Vols continuing to play that gap D off of Cardoso.
Rickea Jackson goes down, and she is fouled by Chloe Kitts. That's a second on Kitts. Tennessee 3 for its last 3. Powell. Raven to Camilla. Missed the layup. Chloe Kitts with the putback.
Can't allow them to get out in transition. And if you're the Gamecocks, this is what you want to do. Miss shots. If you don't get turnovers off of missed shots, made shots, get it out and go.
South Carolina averages 21 fast break points a game.
Get another one. And right now, Cardoso has every mismatch in the book.
She told Raven, just come on, I got her.
I'm thinking about a timeout if I'm Kelly Harper. You don't want to allow South Carolina to get into this rhythm.
They're on a 6-0 run. Strickland, she is a three-point threat. That one rattles out. She's hit 17 on the season. Pow. Air ball.
South Carolina's at their best when they can get out in transition, and Cardoso looking to establish position, but also setting a screen for Raven Johnson. Going to the rim, getting her first bucket of the ball game.
The ultimate BFF, right?
That's right.
I got this, come on in.
Sacrifice for my buddy.
Shoot your shot. Cardoso over on the bench right now. Craig Oates, the athletic trainer for South Carolina, with her. We'll keep an eye on her. Rickea Jackson, the spin, drops it in.
That's ridiculous, that move right there. Are you kidding me, Rickea Jackson?
Mylasia Fulwiley almost added to her reel.
Great pass.
Oh, get it! Jasmine Powell with the the shake. Puckett with the bucket.
I love it. Puckett with the bucket. Drawing multiple defenders. Decision making. Getting high percentage looks.
Pow misses. And great box out by Tennessee. Everybody had a butt in the gut.
Lady Vols continuing to answer every Gamecock run. Rickea Jackson, this is just ridiculous. Maybe a little bit of push off right there. The spin move off the back leg. Knocks down for two, and Jasmine Powell just continues to be electric. Finding Sarah Puckett for the bucket.
Well, both of these programs know what it's like to dominate this conference. Tennessee won 42 straight SEC regular season games from 92 to 95. Then again in 2002 to 2005. South Carolina currently has won 41 straight SEC regular season games, but they are trailing Tennessee right now, and they're doing it in front of a Tennessee legend, Candace Parker, whose number hangs in the rafters here at the Food City Center, a two-time WNBA MVP. Just re-signed with the Las Vegas Aces. And Angel, pretty good company in the crowd for Tennessee.
I mean, overall, legends, period, but just taking it back to another legend in Nikki McCray-Penson, with both teams honoring her today. I'll take you back to something that Dawn narrated, a piece about her. It stated, sometimes legacy seems like too big of a word, but it's a small planted seed in a garden that bears fruit that we may never see. And that is certainly the case with Rickea Jackson and her relationship with Nikki. She said she played with her during her time at Mississippi State. Coach would tell her, stay in the moment and trust your work. She said she added that she believed in her more than she believed in herself. She was brought to tears. She said, I play every game for her, and it reminds me a lot of how Pat Summitt used to repeat to Candace Parker, left foot, right foot, breathe, repeat. It fuels them.
Yeah, absolutely. This game, Tennessee honoring the late Nikki McCray-Penson, who passed away this summer after a battle with cancer. They honored Tasha Butts on Monday, who also passed away from cancer this year. Laser Fulwiley with the steal, with the score.
And this could be danger time right now. This is what South Carolina does. They have those moments where they can get out and make these big runs off of turnovers in transition.
Sunday afternoon, SEC Network, women's basketball, Tennessee and Vanderbilt. This is always a great rivalry, right? Lady Vols won the first meeting in Knoxville. This one will be in Nashville and Memorial Gym. SEC women's college basketball Sunday 2 Eastern on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Laser Fulwiley just picked up her second foul. Joel Spear has not scored for Tennessee.
No, and South Carolina's done a really good job of making her uncomfortable. Shot clock's winding down.
3 seconds.
She makes it look easy.
17 for Rickea. Sanaya Fagan. Trying to get past Hollingshed. It bounces out, and that's the third foul against Jillian Hollingshed. Remember, Tamari Key also has 3 fouls for Tennessee. And Tennessee fans arguing that Fagan may have pushed into Hollingshed. Jillian will take a seat. Fagan gets the first.
Well, this is a lineup that Tennessee can go a little bit smaller. You have Caroline Strickland and her ability to stretch the floor offensively. Defensively, she's got to check Sanaya Fagan, but you got to keep Watkins off the glass.
Watkins with the assist.
But you can feel it right now. You can feel the Gamecocks starting to get a little bit of momentum. starting to be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end. Important for the Lady Vols to continue to answer.
South Carolina has outscored Tennessee 21-15 here in the third quarter.
Extra effort, hustle plays, offensive rebound off of a free throw. Watkins keeping it alive and finding Fagan.
Much better shooting for South Carolina. 10 for 19 here in the third quarter compared to just 10 made field goals in the first half.
Too easy.
Tessa Johnson can't finish though.
Tennessee again fortunate in that drop coverage on the on-ball screen that the Gamecocks are not knocking down those buckets.
Tess Darby thought about it inside to Strickland. And she's fouled by Fagan. Second on Sanaya Fagan.
Courtney, you mentioned Jewel Spear not getting it going, and Kelly Harper told us she might not touch the ball today, the way that the Gamecocks do such a good job of keeping prominent guard scorers from getting touches, and she hasn't had anything easy.
Jewel Spear, a player that averages 13 points per game. She's hit more threes than anybody on Tennessee's team. And she's not just a three-point shooter now. She's expanded her game.
I think that's been one of the biggest areas of growth for her. From her time at Wake Forest, where she was predominantly a three-point shooter, to now looking to attack more off the bounce.
But again, 0 for 6 today. Fulwiley just absolutely got stuffed. Jewel Spear. No. Raven Johnson may have gotten away with a travel. Possession arrow to Tennessee. Rickea Jackson, Te-Hina Pow, both back in the game.
South Carolina going to bring this full court pressure. Tennessee has 7 seconds to get it across the half-court line.
Goodness, I know. Powell slowed down when she got to half court. 15 now.
When you're starting the first pass in offense at 12 seconds on the shot clock. So that light pressure does its job.
Powell was open 6 seconds. Tennessee 2 for 14 from 3. Tessa Johnson. And again, transition. So good for South Carolina.
It absolutely is. You have to stop the basketball. That was way too easy.
And that's going to be the third foul whistled against Sanaya Fagan.
And Kelly Harper talking to us about the South Carolina transition, passing the ball ahead. Sarah Puckett is there, Jasmine Powell is there, and neither one of them stops the ball. These are those little moments, though, the difference, because South Carolina takes advantage of every mistake that you make. Your margin for error is so small.
That's why nobody has been able to beat them. They're the only undefeated team in the nation. Didn't start the season as the #1 team in the nation, but boy, have they shown they are. But being tested on the road, Watkins getting her own rebound and fouled. She's a beast.
She's a beast, and she's so quick off her feet on the second shot. The first shot, all power, right? All power. I love this action with these two in the two-man game. Great recognition, all power inside. But look how quickly she gets back up and recovers to the offensive rebound.
Missed them both, and Tennessee's got the rebound. They can hold for the last shot of the quarter. If they can hold onto the ball, they do. Tennessee has not had a field goal in almost 3 minutes. Three seconds for Rickea. And she's fouled.
I've been really impressed with Tennessee's offensive execution. They've attacked when the opportunity presents. They've slowed down and executed in the quarter court, getting exactly what they want, trying to manipulate the defense.
Bree Hall whistled for her second. Fulwiley comes in to replace Pow Pow, 2.3 on the clock. Jillian Hollingshed's at the table right now for Tennessee. She has 3 fouls. Rickea Jackson can tie it. She does. Hollingshed is going to come in to replace Jackson with 2.3 on the clock. Fulwiley. Are you ready for the next 10 minutes of this game? Angel will talk to Dawn Staley when we come back to Knoxville. We are tied. South Carolina is on a 41-game SEC regular season winning streak, but they are tied with 10 minutes to go. And moments ago, Dawn Staley caught up with Angel.
Coach, you had 23 points in that third quarter. What did you like about what you saw from your offense in that quarter that you lacked in the first half?
Just moving the ball, being more intentional about getting the ball in the paint. Camilla's doing a great job, so we're going to try to go to her a lot more, get some high percentage shots.
Rickea Jackson has been their passion player, everything for them in the second half. 19 points so far. She tied this ball game. How can you disrupt her in the fourth quarter?
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. I think we got to run somebody at her because she's heating up on us. I mean, she's doing what a WNBA eventual player will do.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Angel.
She absolutely is doing what an eventual WNBA player will do. She has taken it to him. What did she do? She reads. She had space early in the ball game, so she knocked down her jump shot. A miscommunication on the on-ball screen. She nails it. Tighten up the defense. Now what does Rickea Jackson do? She's in attack mode, and I think she is at her best when she's finding multiple ways to score, and she has been getting anything she wants here tonight.
19 points for Rickea Jackson, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. But it's tied at 48. What'll be the difference in these last 10 minutes?
It's going to be execution. Execution. Can Tennessee continue their offensive execution and defensively be disruptive and make life difficult? And for South Carolina, can they get out in transition? Can they get some easy buckets? Can they feed Cardoso inside?
Cardoso has 11. You heard Dawn tell Angel they want to feed her, get her the basketball if they can. Watkins going up and over 2 Tennessee defenders.
That's a heck of a play by Ashlyn Watkins. That was terrific defense by Tennessee, great pressure, and that's better offense.
South Carolina scored 23 points in the third quarter. They only had 25 in the first half, so found their offense out of the locker room. Rickea Jackson guarded by Watkins, 5 seconds. The spin. Raven quickly ahead to Bree Hall. And 3 seconds called. Well, Saturday, men's basketball taking over ESPN. It starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, Duke versus Florida State. Don't forget the 6 p.m. matchup, Kentucky and Auburn. That's our Sonic blockbuster. 2, 4, and 6 Eastern on ESPN and the app on Saturday.
You have a diagonal screen. Jackson's coming to it, trying to get her some off-ball action.
Spear, 3 seconds. Still looking for her first points tonight. Bree Hall to the free throw line, and that is the 4th on Tamari Key.
It's that transition defense. South Carolina off of the missed field goal, continuing to put pressure on the rim.
Excuse me, they're going to put that on Powell and not on Tamari. So that's the 2nd on Jasmine Powell. Tamari Key with 3 fouls. Both teams have led for just under 13 minutes. What a ball game. Tennessee led by 3 at the half. They're only the 3rd team this season to take a lead on South Carolina into the locker room at halftime. Six seconds for the Lady Vols.
Got a space. If you're Puckett, you got to give Rickea Jackson space to work.
Shot clock violation.
I think Cardoso gets a touch here in the half court.
And Tennessee's going to call timeout. We step aside. South Carolina up on the road in a close one. El Duncan and the gang will be in Columbia, South Carolina to follow this #1 team as they host Georgia on Sunday. But right now, we got a close battle. It's been that way all night. South Carolina is the only remaining undefeated team in the nation. Tennessee is trying to beat a #1 team for the first time since 2005 when they beat LSU in the SEC tournament.
Well, South Carolina in the second half has done a much better job. Dawn Staley mentioned it to Angel in the interview of sharing the basketball. 6 assists on 12 made field goals. They've been more aggressive on the offensive boards. They've got 7 in this second half. Tennessee 0. So they picked it up from an aggressiveness standpoint. And if you're the Lady Vols, you've got to continue to find ways to answer runs. You're going to get an ISO on the block.
Watkins working on Jackson. Rebound to Tennessee, and now they will push. Powell against Pow Pow. She's fouled by Te-Hina Pow Pow, her second.
Jasmine Powell's been really good at being aggressive and putting pressure on the rim in transition, and you see Te-Hina Pow Pow just coming over the arms of Jasmine Powell.
Jasmine Powell up to 12 points. She's got 8 rebounds. I think she helped set the tone for Tennessee in this game right from the jump.
She absolutely did. She was aggressive to the rim. She was making plays for herself, for others.
Watkins throws it away.
I love the way Tennessee's playing that play. They are forcing Watkins back into the help. They're not allowing the ISO to happen.
Tennessee's been without a field goal 6+ minutes. Puckett's begging for the basketball at the top of your screen. And Cardoso just makes that a hard shot for 5'6" Jasmine Powell. Oh, Rickea!
Hey, these are the extra efforts that it takes just when it looks like the Gamecocks have a layup in transition. Rickea Jackson, the eraser.
Cardoso misses. Ashlyn Watkins, watch out. Does she do it on the road? No, she'll go for the layup. She's dunked twice in her young career at South Carolina.
Oh, Courtney, I thought we were going to get one right here. This is great defense. Just active hands, forcing the deflection, getting the steal. She's like, nah, I'm going to make sure this one goes in.
Second foul whistled against Raven Johnson. South Carolina has its largest lead here. Tennessee has only scored 1 point in the fourth quarter.
Great work down low. I mean, she gets called for the foul, but that was terrific work, Ashlyn Watkins, to try to keep the mismatch from happening.
It's the first on Watkins. I can't say enough about her impact on both ends of the floor.
Her energy, you know, she's trying to keep Tamari Key from getting a mismatch. She's really working, staying low. Low man typically wins, but the lean is what got her.
She's only a sophomore.
It's incredible. The amount of growth that she's had from freshman year to sophomore year. And not just growth in skill set, but growth in it's starting to click for her, and that is scary for everybody else.
Bree Hall, no. South Carolina just one made three tonight. Hall gets a second chance. There's number 2.
The extra effort on the glass. South Carolina has dominated the glass in the second half. Gets them extra possessions.
They've out-rebounded Tennessee in the second half, 23-10. Puckett was there. It was a great block by Camila Cardoso, but Puckett was waiting in the wings.
Oh, great look.
There's a foul called.
Extra possessions are so important. Extra pass, sharing the basketball. They average 19 assists. Bree Hall knocking down a big 3, and the bench is loving it.
SEC tournament is coming March 6th. This might just be a taste of what's to come in Greenville. Courtney Lyles, Stephanie White, and Angel Gray with you. It has been a battle on Rocky Top. Rickea Jackson has taken Tennessee on her back, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. South Carolina, all 9 players that have played have scored, and the bench with 27 points for South Carolina.
I mean, you look at this, 2 of 16 from the 3 for the Lady Vols. This is a team that shoots at 32% on the season. Haven't been able to knock any down. And when you play South Carolina, you've got to be able to knock down 3-point shots, and you've got to consistently knock them down.
I will say South Carolina hasn't fared much better from the 3-point line, though. They're the #1 3-point shooting team in the nation, and they're only shooting 22% tonight.
Shooting at almost 41% on the season, average almost 7 a ball game.
But one of the things, though, that makes South Carolina so dangerous, if one thing isn't working, they just go to the next thing on their roster. Dawn gets in her bag of tricks and pulls out something else.
And that's the thing. You think about this South Carolina team. They graduate all 5 starters. They return 33% of their offense, and they've retooled to be equally as dominant.
Raven misses. Camilla swats it back in her arms. That duo. Pow pow. All kinds of traffic. 6-7. Being 6-7.
Hey, you just throw it up there. The way that South Carolina has been on the offensive glass in the second half, get it up there, give us a chance to get another possession. The 11th offensive rebound of the second half for the Gamecocks. Throw it up, let Cardoso go get it. Finishes with the contact.
And that's the 4th foul on Tamari Key. Her size and her physicality has been so important inside for Tennessee tonight. So Kelly Harper will sub her out. Caroline Strickland comes in. How long do you sit her?
I don't think you can sit her for very long, but I think offensively you got to find a way to score a bucket if you're the Lady Vols. Rickea Jackson has not scored in the 4th quarter, haven't been able to get her going.
Tennessee only has 1 made field goal in the 4th quarter. And Jackson is fouled by Watkins. Her second.
And the efficiency, Courtney, this is what we talk about when we talk about the quality of depth for South Carolina. They can just wear you down. So in the 4th quarter, every shot is difficult. Every decision is a tough decision. And there's an unforced turnover.
10th turnover by Tennessee. Hollingshed in for Strickland. For Cardoso.
And when Camila Cardoso decides to play with that level of physicality, nobody's stopping her.
They flip the floor to Powell on the other side. Puckett just has to heave it back into play. It almost went out of bounds.
Back-to-back turnovers. We talk about the margin for error being so small. That's not just scoring, that's not just getting stops, that's decision making, that's taking care of the basketball, it's giving yourself a chance on both ends.
Watkins trying to add to her double-double. Cardoso called for her second. You know, going back to Camila Cardoso, you mentioned the word dominant, and that's something that we heard Aaliyah Boston, who was the WNBA Rookie of the Year. She said, all in her time in South Carolina, I want to be dominant, I want to be dominant. I think we're starting to see that mentality from Camila Cardoso.
You absolutely are, and playing behind an Aaliyah Boston, going against her every day in practice, teaches you how to be dominant, teaches you how to be relentless, to do your work early, to not take plays off. And Camila Cardoso at times has a tendency to concede position, has a tendency to concede passing it back out on the perimeter. But in that last possession, when you see her get it and just bury defenders, she can do that every time.
Yeah. Projected to go number 4 in the draft if she decides to go out.
And that's what Dawn Staley wants for her.
Yeah.
Understand the dominance and then be that player night in and night out.
Under 2 minutes to go, South Carolina up 9. Passing through the double team to her teammate Ashlyn Watkins, who will finish and go to the line. Malaysia rocking the baby on the bench.
This is a tough play because there's a lot of physicality. The double team, a long double team. Watkins does a good job of getting inside of the defender. And yes, flex on him, Ashlyn Watkins.
Do we think the dominant mentality is being passed along to Ashlyn Watkins?
Listen, I think Ashlyn Watkins has the dominant mentality gene in her already. I think now it's just figuring it out. All of the intricacies of what they do offensively and defensively. And it's so fun as a coach, I'm sure, for Dawn Staley and as us on the sidelines to see it come together.
Yeah.
And she's just a sophomore.
Woo. Watch out. South Carolina plus 14 when it comes to scoring here in the second half. Tennessee turns it over. Couldn't afford to do that with less than 90 seconds in the game, down 11. South Carolina will call timeout, 1:21 to go. We step aside, but only for 30 seconds. South Carolina up 64-53.
Well, Don Staley said we want to give Kamilla Cardoso the basketball, and boy, have they ever. Got her the ball early in the ball game, burying inside in transition. When she gets 2 feet in that restricted area, there is no stopping her. Look at her establishing position, not waiting for the basketball, pursuing on the offensive glass, the emotion. This was not something that came easy to Kamilla Cardoso. Yes, she's been dominant since the day she stepped foot on campus. There's no doubt about that. At Syracuse, she was dominant. Coming to South Carolina, learning how to not take possessions off, how to be consistent, how to become a pro.
And now she's got her 11th double-double of the season. You can add 3 assists and 3 blocks to that. Sarah Puckett with 15 points under a minute to go. Tennessee got a foul? Seconds. Cardoso right by Tamari Key. I think they're checking the clock here. It's showing 29.7 at the moment. They're going to reset it here to 30.8 seconds.
The officials were right on top of that. But Courtney, even the execution in that, again, we're talking about utilizing the clock and still getting a high percentage shot. The spacing was perfect, the timing exactly where you want it to be, and the end result an easy 2.
So Tennessee does call a timeout here with 30.8 on the clock. Let's check in with Angel.
Hey guys, just earlier you were talking about everything it takes for South Carolina to be good, and right now it's the perfect ingredients. Don Staley had a wrapper for Plies come to the last game and he brought a crock pot, but it was the things that went in it. And for her, she said you have to have the trust. That takes longer to develop. Once you do that, you have to make everyone believe. That's a buy-in from the family unit. It's everyone taking the opportunity, the good culture, because if you don't perform to that, to par, everyone has to understand that everyone's going to be held accountable. So the trust you could see with this team, and even off the court, they talk about how tight they are together. You can see it in the fourth.
And I love when Dawn Staley talks about if you're not performing, somebody else will. That's the quality of the depth, and understanding that when you come here, this is not equal opportunity. It is production-based.
And if you trust the process, it's going to pay off. South Carolina trailed at the half, but another test passed for the Gamecocks. Nobody has beaten South Carolina this year. They are 24-0. They have won 42 straight regular season games against SEC opponents, tied for the longest streak in conference history.
And another test on the road, another opportunity for this group to grow, to come together, to learn what it takes to do what they ultimately want to do and win a national championship. So a lot of good things they're going to get from this.
I think Raven Johnson has called this the revenge tour for South Carolina
yes, she has. And herself.
Look, Tennessee came out with a lot of energy. They really pushed South Carolina, but we saw the wear-down factor of South Carolina's depth over 40 minutes.
Absolutely. They just put so much pressure on you to play a perfect basketball game for 40 minutes. Tennessee showed what they are capable of, but being able to finish in that fourth quarter was a challenge.
Kamilla Cardoso leading South Carolina, 18 points, 10 rebounds. Ashlyn Watkins, 14 points, 10 boards for her 6th double-double of the season. And Ashland is standing by with Angel.
Well, you guys moved to 42 consecutive wins in conference play, but it was a battle for you guys in the second half. What clicked?
We just had to get more stops. It was like score. Everybody was scoring. It was like we'll score, they'll score, we'll score, they'll score. We just had to score, stop. And we turned the page. We just had to do what we had to do.
Dawn Staley talked about when Camila Cardozo returns being in the starting lineup, but it's not who starts, it's who finishes. And you finishing this game today, how do you feel your impact was made?
I feel like I showed what I can do, and Coach Dawn knows that what I can do, and she just trusted in me to finish out the game.
We know what you can do, too, and on that breakaway, we were expecting a dunk. Can you explain what happened there?
We hit some points. I didn't know I was going to make it, so I was just like, let me just be safe. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah, because we don't want to see the Dawn Staley gnarl. So Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you down the road.
Thank you.
South Carolina proving to be a very dangerous team. We already knew that coming into tonight, but they backed it up once again. Ashland Watkins knocking down that double-double for her. Gamecocks on the road, got all they could handle for Tennessee, but then after 40 minutes, it's South Carolina remaining the #1 team in the nation, remaining undefeated at 24-0. Gamecocks get it done on Rocky Top.